Welcome to the Community Pulse, where we take the pulse of the community so we can take action.
Welcome to the Community Pulse, where we take the pulse of the community so that we can take action. Today, we're joined by a powerhouse leader and changemaker, Karen Sutton Ford, owner of Sutton Ford in Matteson. Karen is one of the only Black women in the country who own a Ford dealership, and her family's legacy in the Southland runs deep. We're so honored to have you with us today. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Do you mind sharing a little bit about your personal and professional journey? Like what inspired you to take the reins of Sutton Ford and continue your family's legacy?
Yeah, so, when you're a kid, you just see that your parents are going to work and you see that, that they work hard. And I knew my dad sold cars for a living. So for whatever reason, my parents say I was young, like 11. I said, this is what I want to do when I grow up. I'm going to take over. And I have two older sisters, so the whole process was, you can work at the dealership as, I did a cashier. I did, some in and out jobs for the summer, but, you still have to go to school, and you have to graduate, you have to go get a job. Oh. And then if it's like your calling, right, if it's what you really want to do, then you can come back home.
Okay.
So I knew it's what I always wanted to do.
Wow.
But I also knew from, I guess you can call it like a more superficial, but I wouldn't say as a child.
Yeah.
So I didn't understand that the business was more than running a dealership. It's actually a pillar in the community that stands for something.
Yeah.
And so now that was most exciting, to be able to come back. So pretty much I went on to school. I went to Hampton University. Got to shout that out.
Yes,
shout that out. And I did a majored in finance and a minor in leadership studies.
Oh, wonderful.
And so from there, I went to work at IBM. I actually tried to follow my dad's footsteps. So he worked at IBM before he came into the dealership world.
Okay.
And so I went to IBM, but I did not like it.
Oh.
Yeah. I was a financial analyst, and finance is cool, but I was sitting at my desk all day.
Yeah.
So I tried to get into sales within IBM in the automotive sector, but then I ended up applying. I went to Toyota.
Oh,
so
okay.
I moved from New York. That was in LA, and then that was when the headquarters was there. And then you go to a different region within Toyota. So I got San Francisco region, which was so much fun.
Right. And you left that weather to come back to Chicagoland?
I got the phone call.
Oh, you got a phone call.
I got the phone call. So the inevitable phone call, my dad was like, look, this is 2014.
Okay.
And he said, I'm tired. It's time. And I was like, oh, Dad. But at this point, so many people had, some of my college friends had come and stayed with me and gone to visit Stanford or some of the other really good schools out there in California. Yeah. And that's how I found out about a 1-year MBA program.
Okay.
So once he did that, I said, Dad, just give me 1 year. He's like, what? I was like, just give me 1 year. I'm going to go get my MBA. And
okay.
And that, you don't really need a graduate degree. What's beautiful about the dealership is that there's a lot of people actually with no college degrees. And so it's not like you don't have all this debt coming into something. You can learn. Yeah. It's kind of on-the-job learning. So fast forward, I got my MBA, thankfully, because that's where I met my husband.
Oh, okay. And
then I came home. I started working. We're actually really big in fleet. So fleet is business-to-business sales.
Okay.
And that was it's big, but it still is to this day. It's just it's an older department where it's kind of back in the day, right? It was a handshake thing.
Oh.
And so I've had 2 people retire. One left a little bit earlier, and so my dad was like, okay, what do I do? Because when one left, transitioned, we lost a lot of his accounts.
Yeah. But
they wouldn't train anybody because they worked hard to get it. It's like an individual business unit.
Right. It's like your book of business.
Exactly. Yeah. And they built that. And so they had to train me.
Yeah.
So that's where I started. So I started in fleet, and so that's my baby.
Okay.
And then I went on to the other departments within the dealership, and then I went on to dealer school. So that was a 2-year process. Wow. And then you come out of that. Well, when I graduated dealer school in 2020,
the
succession plan was to take over in 2023. Well, that was before COVID could live
Right.
in warm climates, right?
Right.
And so I got another call. Actually, no.
Another one.
This one, I remember being on the showroom floor, and we have TV in the service area. And I remember picking up the phone and calling my dad. And he said, I'm about to tee off. Is it that important?
Oh.
I said, I think so. Like, I think I have to shut down. He said, you got it. Click. And so that's trial.
And that was the COVID shutdown?
That was it.
Oh, my
That was
goodness.
it. And he was like, you know, you'll figure it out. I trust you. So that's so basically, and I took over in 2020.
Wow.
And, you know, we've been going ever since. So it's been a blessing.
That absolutely is. So it sounds like you've learned a lot from your father, which is amazing to have like a mentor, you know, as a parent, and you're a parent. And so I know that you're passing a lot of leadership down to your boys. Yeah, they're a little bit young, but they'll get there. But what, like, of your own leadership style do you think that you bring to the dealership?
Yeah, I think it's the collaborative approach.
Okay.
Right. So I really want to hear everybody's ideas. I really want transformational ideas. And, you know, not to say my dad was never a micromanager, but it's really like full autonomy on the management team.
Okay.
You know, just come to me with your ideas. And yeah, we might talk about them from there, but I'm pretty open book. So really I just want to make sure that everybody feels as though they definitely have a say. So I'm not the end all be all. I wouldn't be here without them.
Right.
Right. So
it's definitely
it's
a partnership.
all in the team.
Right. Yeah, big team.
It's all in the team. I wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here. And so I definitely credit it all to them.
That's wonderful. As one of the only black women leading a dealership in the United States, which I still think is one of the coolest things ever, what has that experience been like? And how do you stay grounded? How do you stay focused in spaces where representation really still is catching up?
Yes. So, I mean, I'll be honest, it's not always easy.
Yeah.
It's not always easy. I mean, I can pretty much 99% of the time I'm going to be the only one in the room.
Yeah.
Right? 99.9 probably.
Wow.
Only from a dealer perspective.
Right.
There might be other women in the room, but
Right.
there's no other black women in the
Yeah.
room. So, like you guys said, my sister and I, we have 2 Ford dealerships, right? And we want to say we've been doing some research, like 4 total in the nation, 4
Wow.
female-owned, black.
So then you
female-owned
found one more
dealerships.
than I did. I was going to say that you and your sister were 2 out of 3, but it's 2 out of 4.
We just
So you and your sister-
we just got another one because unfortunately I think the woman's husband passed. So
Oh, okay.
But so she just took over.
Wow.
But, yeah.
I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And right here in the Southland.
Yes.
This is amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
So we're the only one out here.
Right.
But yeah, so it can be intimidating sometimes. Like, you know, I remember I just got on another committee with Ford, and I went and I looked around the room, and I was the only one. I was the only black.
Wow.
And then, of course, black. But there was like on the committee there was 3 or 4 other females.
Wow.
So that makes you feel a little bit better. And I
Right.
remember texting my parents, and I said, "Wow, this is quite intimidating because it's all the Ford execs. It's like there's at least 50 people in this room."
Yeah.
And again, my dad's answer was, "It's not the first time, and it won't be the last. Go get them." So,
Yeah.
you know, so it worked out. But at the end of the day, you know, you just realize that it's bigger than you.
Right.
Right, so I'm in this situation. I'm really blessed to be in this situation. I mean, growing up, my dad would say, like, "Can't you marry somebody who's going to take over the business?" And it wasn't because he didn't think that we couldn't do it. It was more so he didn't want that type of stress on his daughters. He
Right.
knew what it take as a black man
Right.
in '89 to be able to buy this business. But now it's going to be his daughters. They're
Exactly.
like, "Oh, this is a male-dominated industry."
Right.
But at the end of the day, you know, I'm here in order to make sure that there's to break glass ceilings, to make sure there's room for the next to come through.
Right.
You know, I want young women to look and say, "Wow, I can do it too."
And they are.
And they can. Right.
They
and
are.
they're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Sutton Ford has a long history of giving back, whether it's supporting youth, mental health, housing. Why is community engagement such a priority for you and a priority for your business?
So at the end of the day, to me, we're all on this earth to serve. And it's how I was raised. It's kind of just what breeds us. Again, we wouldn't be here without community. So, I mean, I live in the community. Our customers are the community. Our team members are part of the community. So you have to support the community, the surrounding communities of where you are,
Absolutely.
right? Because otherwise we wouldn't be here. But we as an organization, we typically really work with faith-based organizations.
Okay.
And most faith-based organizations still, go off the same things that you just listed, right?
Yeah.
They're important to PCS, right? And so it's making sure everybody's housed,
Right.
making sure everybody's fed, and making sure everybody equity.
Right.
Everybody has a right to be where they are.
Right.
So it's important to me because, especially when we talk about mental health to me affects every single individual.
Absolutely.
It's going to affect everybody in varying ways. Some
Definitely.
people, might need medication, or there's some, and some people might not.
Right.
But at the end of the day, everybody has some type of trauma.
Right.
And so to me, that's why it's so important, near and dear to my heart. So a lot of the organizations that we've always worked with, like I said, they have some of those same underlying tones, faith-based organizations. So we do a lot with Salvation Army. I'm a product of a HBCU, so we just recently worked with 1911 Foundation.
Yeah.
So I like to support the youth and
Wonderful.
going to HBCUs and South Suburban PADS.
Yeah.
So we still
of our
want to keep it
community
local,
partners.
but also
Yeah.
but also something that we know is making a difference and is still impacting the community that we live and work in.
Yeah. So do you have any personal stories or certain things that that you go to as, whenever things get a little bit tough, or because nonprofit work and giving and serving are definitely can be backbreaking, can be mind-breaking, mind-bending. That's where that mental health piece comes in, right? But what are some personal stories or ways that either you personally, Sutton Ford, Karen Ford, have helped in the community? Is there a spotlight or a thing that you're like, this is why I do this work?
Honestly, it's every day just seeing people when they come in.
Yeah.
Because, they come in, there's some people don't want to be in the dealership. Most people don't want to be in the dealership, right?
It can be intimidating.
Right? And
right.
so just being able to see the impact that you're making. Or like you said, if, you're working with these organizations and just, when we volunteer, so right, I don't just spend the money. You want to donate your time as well.
Right.
And so just seeing it and seeing how it's impacting, and that your dollars and your efforts are not going to waste.
Tell me a little bit about that volunteering, because as you're leading right into my next question, what are some ways that the dealership shows up and shows out in the community? I mean, I know this personally, and one, if you don't mind me sharing, is you guys do a turkey giveaway.
Yes.
And so being part of nonprofit and having that connection to people who are newly housed and newly homed, you've always very generously given me a call and said, hey, we have some leftover turkeys. Do you know people? And I said, oh my gosh, yes. We just moved someone in last weekend. And so I get the turkey from you, and I go buy some pans, or, from our other local contributors here. We get all the things that they need to make their very first Thanksgiving. I love that work. Thanksgiving's my favorite time of year, all that giving. And but what are some other things? What are some other ways Sutton Ford is showing up? Where can we find you?
We do some backpacks, and so we'll pack the backpacks, and then they can be given out anytime, really, through Salvation Army and whatever they're doing.
Great.
In the different localities. And we just want to make sure our team members have the opportunity to get involved in whatever project we're doing at the time.
Okay.
So, for example, the 1911 Foundation, when they had their run in Matteson, we have salespeople come out. Because you're here selling vehicles, but we want to make sure that everybody knows the community that they're working in if they don't live in it.
Right.
And so we just really try to include everybody in those opportunities. And right now we've really taken the next step, and we actually have a corporate social responsibility lead.
Oh, wonderful.
And so we're able to do a lot more, because before it was on me. So it was more like, I don't know what we have time for, and I don't know what we have more budget for. So, now with that, now we're really out in the community, and she can pull on individuals to say, okay, it's an opportunity to learn, and we want to start getting into doing something big as an entire dealership, like on an entire day throughout the year. But for the most part, we really just pull on everybody, but it's also a part of them, right?
Yeah.
Because whether they serve with their churches or they serve on different boards, we're just extremely blessed with our culture and the type of people that we have, that it's really ingrained in them as well.
I would say maybe it isn't luck. It could be good leadership. But so this year, PCS is celebrating 20 years of service in the Southland.
Yeah,
This is it's a big, exciting venture for us. We turned 20 on February 1st, which is awesome. But this whole year, we're celebrating, and we're focused in those things that we already mentioned: housing, connection to healthcare, that equity of healthcare, making sure that everyone has the ability to obtain healthcare and housing, and workforce development is a part of that. How do you see businesses and nonprofits, especially in the Southland, working together to drive not just like, a one day of giving or a one check, like you were saying, right? Like dive deeper, long-term impact. How do you see those two entities working together?
It's really about collaboration, right? And so sometimes businesses have some of the resources, or they might have some of the connections with people in the communities, but the nonprofit organization, as long as you trust them and everything, right? They know what they're doing in that field,
right?
So that's when it comes up to us as leaders to collaborate and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. One thing that really kind of bothers me is sometimes there's so many different organizations doing the same thing.
Right.
Let's become a collective unity. Let's work together, and get a couple of businesses, and then get the nonprofit and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. Because what was that song, right? As a force, there's something by myself, but as a force, we're a force when we work together.
Right. Right.
And so that's what I think the biggest thing is like it goes around the collaboration piece.
Definitely. What do you think about the future of Sutton Ford and your leadership? What's next? What kind of legacy do you hope to leave in business? First, and foremost, of course, but then also in your community. Clearly, like everything that you have done is surrounded by community, right? And so you've created this great team at Ford, and then how do you see that playing out in the community? And before you answer that, I'm going to say we are going to take a quick moment here and hear something amazing from our sponsor. No, it's not our sponsor. You were giving me the sign, right?
I was talking now.
Oh, not giving me the sign? Oh.
I was telling we had 2 minutes countdown.
Oh, 2 minutes. All right, we'll start.
But that's still cool.
Okay. You want me to do like a welcome back? Are you going to put something there?
We're back.
Okay.
You might have to repeat the question too.
Yeah. Do you want me to repeat the question, or I can repeat it to you? Like, what do you think the future of Sutton Ford is in your leadership? Like, what's next in your leadership?
Oh, the legacy
What kind of
question.
legacy? Yeah. In business, but also community legacy.
Go ahead.
So, good job. Doing great.
Awesome.
It's going really well, team. Here, I would definitely note like the continuing to pour into the community, whether that be through the Salvation Army and making sure that people are housed and fed, etc. So we want to make sure that we're pushing the community piece forward before we say like your long-term term goal for sure. So Sutton Ford continuing to sow in its community, and we believe that if our community is strong, we pray that we will continue to be strong and move forward in the way that we hopefully have been, something like that. But go community first.
So you're going to ask a question on,
Yeah, I can. Do you want me to?
would that be more comfortable to ask the question?
Oh, now we can do it. We can do it. Because she said before.
Should she ask the question all over again? Or?
Please.
Okay.
Okay, give me a second. Where am I at? Okay, perfect. Let me know when you're ready, Tony.
Oh, I remember. Okay.
Welcome back. So we were talking about the future of Sutton Ford and your legacy. What's next for you, and what kind of legacy are you hoping to leave and impacting in the community?
Well, really, I want people not to think of Sutton Ford as a dealership.
Okay.
Right. I want people to think of Sutton Ford as something in the community, as a business in the community that fed and gave back to their community. And so it's more about, I want Sutton Ford to be a destination.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's is that a legacy? I mean, I would hope so, because that to me is what would make sure that you're still around for the longevity, around for the long haul. You know, I just want people to make sure they understand who we are as individuals, what our core values are, and that we're really genuine about what we do. Personally, you know, I have, like you said, I have 2 young boys, and so I would love to see something go through the 3rd generation. I mean, but who knows? I don't even know if cars are going to be flying by then or something.
Right.
So, or cars are going to be non-existent. Who knows?
Right.
But, you know, to be able to leave a legacy of leadership, not just for them, but for the people, you know, the young women and black and brown children that are coming behind us. You know, somebody left that path for me, and people worked really hard for that. So that's the kind of legacy I would love to live. I want them to first think of the dealership, not think of it as a dealership, right? Think of it as a community partner and a business that really did well by the communities that it serves. And secondly, for the individuals that are coming behind, that make sure that they can say like, oh wow, she really helped us.
Yeah. And I think you're doing that. I mean, in any capacity that I've known you and worked with Sutton Ford, and we've purchased a car. I'm going to let everyone know, go to Sutton Ford. But also, it's been so much more than that, right? Anytime that we go there, that my family goes there, or that I reach out, you know, business-wise to use Sutton Ford, you know, either the service department or whatever, we're always greeted. Everyone's friendly. It's definitely, I feel like it's a destination.
Good.
So
Good.
I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Now, if you could design like the ultimate give back, right, for this entire region, what would that look like to you?
It would be like when I talk about collaboration.
Okay.
Right, and so the holistic approach. So mind, body, soul.
Okay.
And you want to serve everybody in all of those 3 characteristics.
Definitely.
And that, again, that goes back to housing. It goes back to equity. It goes back to financial freedom and liberty.
Right.
And so if you're sowing into the mind, body, and soul of individuals, then you have a more wholesome person.
Yeah.
So that would be my vision, is like just of wellness all together, and us all working together on one accord.
Yeah.
On one accord. I get it. We're all here to provide for our families.
Right.
And we're all here to make a living. But let's just do it in a way where nobody gets left behind.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. Well, we'd love to stay connected and bring more attention to the amazing work that Sutton Ford is doing. With our 20th anniversary gala coming up in this fall, it's a huge celebration. PCS has never had a gala before. Okay. So it's always been an organization, a company that we've put all of our resources and all of our hearts and souls and spirits, and anyone you talk to in this company, you'll really see that everything has been put back into the community. So to have this celebration is really exciting for us.
You guys deserve it.
Thank you. Thank you. Right.
And raise money at the same time.
And raise money at the same time, because that money goes right back into our community. It's what feeds all of our amazing programs, and helps. And especially in this climate right now, people are afraid, and things are changing, and hope is getting pushed to the wayside and lost a little bit. So, sometimes what you need is to party, right? Yes. And have a really good time.
Yeah.
And
work hard, play harder.
Exactly. And bring that back for everyone in the community. But we're spotlighting local leaders, so thank you for being one of those.
Thank you for having me.
And our leaders and our partners who are really actually doing the work and changing lives and getting out there in the community. So those are people like you. So my very final question, and I do try to ask this to every guest, is what does community wellness mean to you, and what gives you hope? That's my final one. I want you to land on a vision of hope for us today.
A vision of hope.
Yes.
A vision of hope. And what was the first part? What gives?
The first part is like community wellness. When you think of community wellness, how do you envision that?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go back to the whole holistic approach.
Yeah, that collaborating.
I really feel like nobody should be left behind.
Right.
Nobody should be left behind, and I get it. There's some people that are going to be on different paths.
Definitely.
But at the same time, there has to be a way for us to make sure that they still know that they can still come home.
Right.
And there's still opportunity for them. There's still opportunity for them.
Yeah.
Right. And there's no pathway. Right. There's no direct one-way path.
Right.
And everybody's path is going to look different. But
that's kind of the beauty of community, right?
Right.
That we all have a little bit of different path.
We all have to treat each other with respect.
Absolutely.
And it's all about respect, integrity. It's all about your character. So if you really focus on that holistic approach, their character becomes better.
Yeah.
And if everybody has a great character, then we're all happier people.
Yeah.
So the vision of hope again would be for everyone to be fed in their mind, their body, and their spirit. And to me, that way, when you're fed and you're rich in those, then you have a better character and you become a better individual, which then leads you to make better decisions.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I would just love for everybody to get on one accord and work together. That's my hope.
I love that. And I love working with you. Again, like I say, the turkey drive.
Yes.
I love your backpacks. I can't believe it's already that time, getting ready to go back to school. But that's really exciting. And I'm so happy you guys are being a part of that.
Thank you.
But I look forward to continuing this kind of good work with you. It's been an amazing journey, and I'm going to keep that vision of hope. I'm gonna print that little out, put it up somewhere so that we can continue to work on that together.
PCS 20, here we go.
That's right, PCS 20. Thank you so much for coming out here today, Karen. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your dedication to the community. You are going bigger and better and more amazing places. I know I can tell. 1 out of 4 Black women in the entire country is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I guess like when you put it like that.
Right, yeah.
Right.
And right here in the Southland, we're so very lucky to have you here, to have Sutton Ford here for our community. So thank you.
We're blessed that you invited us, and we're really appreciative.
Of course.
And we love the work that you all are doing.
Well, thank you.
Without organizations like this, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, well, we appreciate that. We work hard, so we appreciate your partnership. It's great to see you today. Everybody, thank you. Continue to like,
Share, comment.
share. Thank you.